now for the official introduction. The fighter fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 68.6. He's at 23, stands at 6'1". He fights out of 12 gauge MMA, hails from Manchester, Liam Burke. Out of the red corner, weighing in at 69.6. He's at 22, stands at 5'8". He fights out of Team Spartan and hails from Shrewsbury, Gareth, Vanhoof.
So the first of 4 titles on the line here in the lightweight division. Amateur rules between Gareth Vanhoof in the white shorts from Spartan MMA against Liam Burke, 5-2 from 12 gauge MMA, wearing the black and red Venom shorts. Great levels of experience for these guys, Dave, and a couple of amateurs that a lot of people are talking about on the amateur scene here in the UK.
Yeah, I've seen Vanhoof fight before. Very good on the feet, dangerous guy. Not seen Liam Burke live, as I can recall, but coming out of 12 gauge MMA, I should imagine he's extremely well rounded. Some great support here for Vanhoof, the Spartan MMA fighter. Good start from him.
Vanhoof standing sideways on, obviously, to eliminate a threat. I like the way that he passed him through that shot. I think he's hurt his man there, Dave.
Yeah, cheeky little left hand when his man was standing up as well. Now he's coming back forward. There's Liam Burke.
There are his angles all over the place in this one, Dave. A lot of guys coming in and making the use of that space.
Yeah, Vanhoof clearly giving up a bit in the reach department, but he's doing everything he should, Ben. He's extremely mobile. He's in and out. And when he gets on the inside, Ben, he's punishing Liam Burke.
As you say, Dave, Burke, the ranger of the two. It's Vanhoof. I like the way that he sent that kick up a little bit unorthodox there, stepped into the stance.
Good work there from Liam Burke, just avoiding the punishment, using his legs and that longer range just to keep out the way of Vanhoof. This is where he needs to be very vigilant when he gets pinned against the cage. Can't let the smaller man rush in on him. Accidental low blow. Referee Neil Hall just calling a quick stop to proceedings. I'm sure there won't be a point or anything. Just a warning, Ben, I should imagine.
Neil Hall, very experienced referee. Quick word to both guys. Update him in the situation and we're back in it. As it's Vanhoof who's coming forward. Got Burke on the back foot a little bit. I think he's got him guessing somewhat.
Now, I do like the lateral movement of Burke, though. He's moving well, moving away from the power hand of Vanhoof and not allowing his man to settle. Oh, nice left hand from Vanhoof there.
Nice, and jumps in. Vanhoof's corner screaming at him, Dave, to keep that pressure up. Because on the outside, I mean, this is where Burke's really going to want to kind of do his damage. He's the rangier guy. He's making good use of the kicks, trying to establish the jab. But from Vanhoof's point of view, this is where he needs it to be.
Yeah, Burke's done well in stages, certainly. I mean, it's as far as I can tell, it's an orthodox going against the southpaw in Vanhoof. But he's done well, Burke. A lot of strikers often find it difficult when they're fighting against somebody in a different stance to get any rhythm and get their kicks off particularly. But Burke throwing out that push kick and the kick to the body, he's had sporadic success with it. I should imagine the round will probably go in the way of Vanhoof, I should imagine, on aggression and some of those punches he land on the inside. But certainly Liam Burke had his moments, and it's just turned into a nice little fight here at Rage in the Cage. From Vanhoof's point of view, I think his corner will be telling him to just carry on rushing in, throw punches on the way in, and just try and pin his man down on the cage and go to work. From Liam Burke and the corner of 12 gauge MMA, probably just asking for more of that lateral movement and get the kicks going again. Maybe if he can get that low kick inside, which he did look for earlier on in the bout, but unfortunately it strayed a bit low. But an intriguing contest, shall we say, Ben, moving into this second round.
Vacant title on the line here at Rage in the Cage 3. It is Gareth Vanhoof in the white and red, and a nice body kick launch straight away by Liam Burke in the black and red shorts. Burke, the taller of the two. Real back and forth exchanges. I like that Burke's using that teep as almost as a bit of a defensive weapon, and now he grabs the clinch. Well, Vanhoof, to his credit, Dave, did the right thing. As soon as he felt that tie plum clasp on the back of the head, he dove into that cage and pushed his man up there. And very hard for even the taller fighter with a leverage advantage to gain any kind of real snap in those shots, backing up, throwing knees in the clinch against the cage.
Yeah, certainly, and you mentioned the teep there, and it really is you know, a weapon to put off Vanhoof, but it's not necessarily going to hurt him at any point. But I do like the work from Burke. He's shown some good takedown defense work in the whizzer on that side and wrist control on the other side. It is certainly a well-matched title bout here at Rage in the Cage. It's just Burke now, just trying to find somewhere, Ben, for him to have a sweet spot. And I don't think in the clinch here will be where he finds it. He did look for the tie plum earlier, but obviously a bit fearful of being taken down now, elected to have the whizzer and the wrist control there. From Vanhoof's point of view, although he's not hurting his man here, Ben, in the eyes of the judges, he's putting the pressure on, he's landing the little strikes, and you know, that's what nicks you the rounds.
Especially as we've talked about all night long, and these amateur rules, obviously shorter rounds, you've only got the 3 minutes. Looked like Vanhoof was going to try a takedown there, use the opponent's momentum from the clinch, but we break back in the stand-up realm, and it's Burke on the outside, as we've seen him for the remainder. Nice head kick, snaps it up.
Beautiful head kick from Liam Burke, really got the attention of Vanhoof. He was lucky it was all foot, a bit deeper down, and could have really hurt his man. But Burke at range is definitely a threat. I like to see him maybe throw a knee down the pipe as well, Ben, when Vanhoof rushes forward. Good takedown defense from Liam Burke.
And something that we see a lot of taller fighters, that the less thickly muscled that taller fighters at any weight class kind of struggle with. But he did a really good job there up on one leg of negating the takedown defense of his stockier opponent. It was Vanhoof turning the pressure up now, grinding his man up against the cage, looking to land maybe a few knees. And these don't look like a lot, Dave, but they will really sap a fighter, especially over a title encounter like this when we are looking at 5 3-minute rounds.
Yeah, they will sap the strength out of the legs, the longer legs of Burke. But from Burke's point of view, he shows very solid fundamentals, Ben. You know, he's always working the whizzer in there, and it definitely doesn't look easy to take down. But while he's got his back to the cage, Ben, he's losing in the eye of the judges, surely, and that's the difficult predicament for him. He's doing very well to negate the on-rushing attacks from Vanhoof and get out the way and not really ship any damage, but minus a couple of teeps and a nice head kick there, he's just not really getting off enough of his own offense, is Liam Burke. So he's going to have to look at something different to change the way this bout is going. See, these title fights are going to be over 5 3-minute rounds, so he's still got a lot of time to work out the predicament, which is Gareth Vanhoof across the cage from him. But for my mind, Ben, he just needs a change in tactics, really, to just halt this onslaught from Vanhoof, because it's going into a little bit of a regular occurrence now. Vanhoof rushing in, getting his man against the cage and just scoring with the knees. And we see a lot of fighters use that game plan, that, you know, the likes of Lee Chadwick, Cathal Pendred. It's an effective, albeit not the most pleasing on the eye, form of offense.
And what it also is a really, almost, I suppose, a lower risk way of winning fights. As we say that, Vanhoof throwing himself into the danger zone, banging away with some shots on the inside, and once again looks to maintain that position where he's had the success that you talked about there, Dave. And you're right, it does look like from the the judge's point of view and from a lot of the crowd's point of view, it's not as aesthetically pleasing, but it's fatiguing for both guys. But the guy on the receiving end as well, it's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, it is. And Vanhoof, he's doing everything right himself. He's got that head position there. He's just pinning Burke's head up and just working busy enough just so that Neil Hall doesn't get involved. And that's what he needs to do to win these rounds. To his credit, though, Vanhoof, I mean, let's not... I don't want to label him as a fighter just looking for the decision, because when he's on the way in, Ben, he's throwing with really, really bad intentions. But while he can get this position and score here with knees to leg, why wouldn't you stop there? You know, Burke's not doing enough at the moment. He's got a solid defense in terms of not shipping much damage, and he doesn't look easy to take down, but he's going to have to either work an underhook on the far side and look to just turn his man on the cage. As it is, Neil Hall stepped in.
Burke pushing off with that teep, but not really a lot on him. As Vanhoof throws a huge left hook that doesn't miss by a lot. Oh, there's that head kick again. That could be a weapon for him, Dave.
Yeah, he looks like he's got solid tie, but he can't get chased down to this cage. He's got to keep up this lateral movement. Little timeout called there, another low blow. Second one of the fight. Going to be interesting to see what Neil Hall does. For my mind, Ben, and I'm certainly not a referee, I think another warning would be sufficient for me. It's a difficult clash, especially when you're going out from two different stances. An orthodox guy going against the southpaw, you know, it's very difficult to check the kicks, especially the low kicks. So it'll be interesting to see what Neil Hall does here.
Speculated there, Dave. I mean, Neil Hall having a real stern talking to with Liam Burke, letting him know the situation. I mean, there's no doubt that these strikes aren't deliberate, or they're not, but they're still hitting the target and they're still fouls. So it's in his recourse to acting the way he has. And as we speculated about this, Gareth Vanhoof comes flying forward with a shot, doesn't miss by a lot. And Burke himself looks to land a kick. Real fast and frantic pace between these two guys.
Burke engaging the grappling exchange, but easily turned by Gareth Vanhoof. Nice little shot on the inside from Vanhoof.
Vanhoof once again, Dave, chipping away from this position. And we talked about the fatigue as well. But from Burke's point of view, Dave, I mean, how frustrating is this going to be for him? The fact that that horrible feeling of, we've all been there in training scenarios where it just feels like we can't get off, we can't cause any kind of separation. And I mean, how strong mentally is he going to have to be going into the championship rounds here?
Yeah, you make a good point. It's going to be very sapping, not just physically, but also mentally for 12 gauge MMA's Liam Burke, and certainly looking at being all the rounds down thus far. So, yeah, he's really going to have to do something, Ben, to change the tide of this bout. He looked to engage the clinch earlier on and maybe look for a takedown. Vanhoof quickly turned him to the cage, but maybe that could be an area that Liam Burke could possibly look to take advantage of. From Vanhoof's point of view, why would you do anything different, Ben? You know, he's pinning his guy up against the cage, he's chipping off, and let's not forget he's been extremely aggressive on the way in, and if he does land one of these big shots on the way in, it could be a complete game changer. So great work from Vanhoof thus far. Burke's best work has been those head kicks. So, you know, it's a catch-22 situation, Ben. He's landing with the head kicks, but then he doesn't want to get shut down and grappled. So it's a very difficult one at the moment for Liam Burke.
I mean, for me, Burke, what he needs to do is, if he is throwing those head kicks, Dave, they've got to be set up behind something. I don't think he's at the stage of the fight where he can throw them kind of naked, as they say, because with the pressure that Vanhoof's looking at, as we see there, you see the pressure that Vanhoof puts forward as he sees that if it's just one kick coming in, he's not afraid to come through, close the distance, and do what he's doing now, which is bull his man into the cage.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Ben. I think if Burke could perhaps try and get the hands involved as well and start pumping that jab in his man's face and giving him something a bit more to worry about than the teep on the way in. Then yeah, he could get Gareth Vanhoof guessing a bit more. Vanhoof content to let his man up.
Oh,
beautiful,
that's a big
right
shot.
hand.
Vanhoof showing a good chin, Dave. That was a big right hand. Really nice shot from Burke there, straight down the pipe.
Yeah, this is it. If Burke can get the hands more involved, he could really cause Vanhoof some trouble, I think.
Especially with the range differential as well. I mean,
yeah.
if it's never too late, as they say, to start establishing that jab. And that's exactly where all the work, the good work that he could be doing with that range and those good strikes really should be coming from.
Corner of Burke, calling for him to get that whizzer back. Now he turns his man, and now Burke as Vanhoof pulled up against the cage, but it's all too momentary. Say that, a topsy-turvy turn of events now. And now it's Liam Burke with Vanhoof pressed up against the cage. Maybe looking for a single himself. Vanhoof looking for the choke bend. That looks awkward.
It looks like he's got the hands in the almost the rear naked choke position. The power guillotine, really arching his man in there. Burke doing a very good job of holding it off. He's pushed his man in the cage and freed the hands. That looked like a tight spot for a second there.
Yeah, you can tell Burke is obviously fighting out of a quality camp. He's got great fundamentals. He works the whiz as well, the takedown defense, and then he looked like he was in a choke. He didn't panic. He just worked out of it well. But from Vanhoof's point of view, again, Ben, it's just more scoring. He's just pouring on the pressure here, working against the cage, looking for the subs. The knees are going in low again. Neil Hall asked for a bit more action, didn't see it. Just separates the guys.
Vanhoof throwing the high kick this time as Burke looks to plot away from the outside. And both guys have got big strikes in them. It's just as you said earlier, Dave, I mean, if one lands, we really are looking at a game changer.
It's a great point you made earlier, Ben, about the setting up of the kicks, because he's still threatening Liam Burke with that high kick on the outside, but it'd be much more effective, I think, if he could set them up with strikes. If he can get a jab working, we haven't seen much of his jab. We've seen his right hand land very crisply in the last round, but if he could just start setting those punches up, maybe, and then he could probably be looking at getting more success with the kicks, because Vanhoof at the moment, I mentioned it, I think it was back at the end of the second round, that it was getting into a bit of a pattern, and that pattern's continued, albeit at the moment referee Neil Hall is a bit quicker to split these guys apart. Obviously a little bit of fatigue setting in now of Vanhoof. He's not able to stay quite as busy as he was with his man pinned up against the cage in the early rounds, but surely, Ben, looking at a big advantage on the scorecards now, and I think Liam Burke will be looking at needing a stoppage now.
It's looking like that's the most likely course of action, really. Gareth Vanhoof, for me, Dave, he's done everything right in terms of the fact that it's not just the fact that he's dictated where this fight takes place, but he hasn't come in blindly to get himself into those positions. As we said, he's been aggressive in throwing the big shots, so he's minimised the chance that he's going to walk into something. Because his man's worried about the fact that the shots are going to come as well as the inevitable kind of push forward. But it looks like he's got like you said, Dave, really sound fundamentals. Comes from a good camp, obviously, and they've really trained him well for this one. But he's really struggling, and I think for me that one of the key kind of factors has been is whenever we've been in a position like this, when Vanhoof is pushing forward and Burke's on the fence, it looks like every last fibre of effort that Burke's got is to take him to kind of reverse the position, whereas when we see it like this a lot of the time, Vanhoof just easily moves the position round, and I think that's really been the tale of this fight for me.
Yeah, certainly, and I think in that sort of range, that the smaller, stockier guy, it suits his build and his strength as well, those sort of positions. Again, we see Burke lining his guy up with a kick. But just love to see him just even pepper out the jab as a gesture, Ben, you know, even just fake it to keep Vanhoof guessing. Nice left hand out the back of his stance on the way in from Gareth Vanhoof. Nice little low kick from Burke there. Again, looks for the high kick.
Moved on this one, become a little bit laboured somewhat as we get to the last bit of the final round. But that being said, I mean, they're still snapping a lot of these shots.
Yeah, right hand was very close again from Liam Burke. It just shows again how surprising it is that he hasn't elected to throw more hands. But this has been the story of the fight, this position here. This is what he struggled with.
Vanhoof chipping away with little strikes, knees to the thigh, knees to the midsections he did there, foot stomps as well, knees to the inside of the legs. I mean, they don't look like a lot, Dave, but we've been saying this whole fight, and the cumulative effect obviously is that not only are they a lot to deal with from a fatiguing point of view, they're all scoring.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. It's scoring in the eyes of the judges. And if you just look at the head position here of Vanhoof, just working it, pinning it under the chin of Liam Burke, that just makes it so difficult to get any sort of movement or do any sort of reversal. Oh, very quick on the break there with Vanhoof, back into the mixer. Don't think Matt Thorpe and the crowd were very happy with that, but the bout ends, goes the full distance. Fantastic show of skill from both fighters. I should imagine, Ben, that Vanhoof is on his way to unanimous, but credit to Liam Burke, who would have picked up a lot, I think, from that bout as well. And it just goes to show that, you know, the level of amateur fighting in the UK is just very much in a good place, man. Two solid guys, and
ladies and gentlemen, after 5 hardcore rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. All 3 judges scored this in favour of your winner. In the red corner, Gareth Vanhoof. Please show your appreciation for Liam Burke. Raging the cage, lightweight champion, my friend. How does that sound? It sounds like a great performance here as well, yeah? Yahoo! 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 Gareth went to the bottom. The sound section stayed moving over in, and the left hand was coming in strong all the way through. In the first round, I did one with a kick and dropped him. Did you feel strong and seem to be taking the centre of the cage all the way through? All the saddle like this and this. All the smiles like this. Serious kick. That's all I said. Tassel's kick lost his way there. Soft just without that way. No, you did really well. Your cardio was awesome all the way through. Even down to the last minute, you were still bouncing around, which was great to see that you were 5 minutes. Yeah. Well, I've done a lot of cardio before. I've done a lot of Also, I noticed that you were holding to the centre of the cage, but when you did that and you had him against the cage, you were doing a lot of foot stomps, and then was that part of your game plan? Everything was like a game plan, just to win the fight. Let's just get this thing, anything together in. It was quite tall, and he used that really well because he did a lot of kicks, a lot of head kicks. How did you find getting into it? I feel fine, it's all right, so I get into the body and that's what I from there, really. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank, brother? All my family, my girlfriend, Neil Oldhouse, you fat bastard.